God, how much longer is this stupid Serena and Yuzu switch clothes and no one can tell the difference thing gonna go on? I mean, for God's sakes, her hair is blue. What possible emotional payoff could we get out of this? Oh, that'll do, pig. That'll do. So anyways, in this episode, basically, I'll get to that part in a minute, but basically where this episode started was very interesting. We are introduced to the Lancers, or the public is, and we sort of get our first full view of them now that Yuya's on Reiji's side. And things got interesting really quickly. I thought it was just going to be sort of the generic, we're here, we're a crowd, and we're going to cancel the tournament, and then, on to the arc. Actually, no. I did like that the crowd was questioning what was happening. It sort of showed their intelligence, like, who's the ninja guy? What's the little girl doing there? Why is Sawatori there? That was fascinating to me because of what it led into, was people in the crowd started saying, oh, it's probably his dad and his political influence that got him into this. And then Sawatori, that made him more mad. Like, it wasn't just stubborn, they're calling me out. It was, no, how dare you compare me to my father or bring him into this? And I really like that. Like, I think that could get played up in the future, sort of like to the rivalry between him and Yuya, of it just sort of being like, Yuya aspires to be like his father, Sawatori aspires to not even be associated with him. I think that could get really interesting really quickly, and I really do want to see where that goes. Then things got even more interesting, because instead of just Reiji saying, the tournament's canceled for right now, some bullshit reason, go back to your lives, people, he's like, no, we were invaded by another dimension. People just accept this, I guess. They show the footage of people dying, and, we get a little scene saying, oh, that's what happened to Constellar Guy, all that good shit. And that was amazing, because you always expect in things like this that we're going to keep everything a secret and we're going to move on. It's like, no, we're just going to flat out tell everyone. And then it got even more great, because then it was just sort of like, you can join the Lancers, you can be part of our army, you can join this and help us fight. And it's sort of like, by God, Reiji's playing a game that involves just manipulating the fuck out of everybody. And that was fascinating to watch, like just seeing how far this guy can influence. And I love you look at the crowd and it's all individually done faces. It's not just like stock footage, because every face is different. Some people look excited, other people look scared, some people don't know what to think. That must have taken time, and let me just say, it paid off perfectly. It made the scene feel real. It brought me right into it. It was just a great scene and a fascinating bit. I didn't know where it was going to go, and I was so happy, and I'm so fascinated to see what happens next out of it. And then we get the perfect scene in this episode, the thing that, as great as that last scene was, this is the thing that will stick with me from this episode. Yuya having to tell Yuzu's father about what happened. Now, the thing is that I have a feeling that maybe the goal to them switching clothes was to make this scene good, and I feel like you could make an argument that that kind of makes it feel a little bit forced, but I thought it worked perfectly, because if Yuzu's father had noticed she wasn't there in the crowd, he probably would have put two and two together, and when he gets to Yuya, the anger would already come out. And not that that scene wouldn't be good, but it definitely allowed to see more of Yuya's emotional reaction. You saw him as he worked up the courage and the guilt to tell Yuzu's father that she very well might be dead. And that was so fascinating to watch, because then you get Yuzu's father's reaction of, I can do this, I can save her. And then he slowly realizes, no, I can't. And you really do see that, because Yuzu's father is, sort of like the stereotypical father. I want to solve all the problems, I want to be there and protect my daughter. And you just see how that can't happen, and it just kind of breaks your heart. It was sad to watch. And you know that's going to be good, as you saw it with the kids too, and Yuya's mother, as they're all just confused and scared and sad and don't know what to do about Sora, and I loved that. Then the rest of this episode happened, and look, the duel wasn't bad for what it was. The backstory's not terrible for Yuya's mother, but it's like, I don't care. I don't really need or want to know that she was a gangster or how the parents met. I don't really care, and this episode didn't make me care. I thought it was really dumb that it all looked like the 1980s, even though this is still supposed to be the near future. So I thought that was sort of goofy. I thought just, it's just that Yuya's mother isn't an interesting character, and you go from that much emotion and perfection in the episode to that level of mediocrity, and I'm just kind of like, I just don't care. But I am fascinated to see what happens next. It looks like next episode we sort of go into Yuya's sort of past with Yuzu, and I think that could be really interesting as well. But what did you think? In the comment section below, give me your thoughts on this episode. What was your favorite moment? Where you think things are going? And as always, click to like and click to subscribe, because hopefully this past won't drag on for too long.